Mute that. Go to channel. Live. Oh, perfect. Okay. All right, I'm just throwing a question here. Have you paid in metals yet? All right, I just got to pull a question up for you guys. Have you paid in metals yet? I could definitely for sure say yes many times over. It's a lot of fun. Gold backs. You can be real creative and go panning, or even buy some little gold flakes and nuggies. I want to try it more independently, not just out of state where you know it's a given. Like, think gold backs where states have their own gold backs, and it's growing, but independently where states haven't yet have their gold backs yet. Things where you can utilize farmers markets, services, think like mechanics, and so on. Like silver grams, for example. Last year, we're up north in a festival. I was actually tipping and paying in grams. Now today, I believe, if I remember, because I did a live show on Rumble earlier, they're $2.38 a gram. So $2.38 for this. And dimes, think 1964 and older Roosevelts. And even these Mercury dimes. These are just under $6 in melt value. So this 10-cent face value dime is about $6. That could get you easily 2 gallons of gas, and so on. So I would wonder if you're able to, and I want to try exploring this later this year, farmers markets, if they would accept small pieces of gold for meat, cheese, honey, and or services. That would be fun. So instead of just buying the rounds, and even bigger purchases, use silver coins, silver rounds. So has anyone, grams are between $2.40 and $2.50 today. So yeah, I'm wondering, has anyone here utilized metals for services, buying, purchasing? I'm going to be trying this out later this year, farmers markets. I'll go live or record and ask people, would you accept gold or silver for groceries, for food, for bread, for cheese, for, honey at these stands? Being able to utilize metal for maple syrup and the basics. That's going to be a lot of fun this year. So not just out of state where they accept gold backs. Because that's going to be a little bit easier, because they're going to be more aware and educated on that. But again, it goes back to bartering. So case people always say, I got my go bags, I have my supplies, I'm prepared, I'm ready. But when it comes to putting into action, has anyone ever tried trading and spending this yet in practicality, like actually in the real world right now? So you actually get practice, you get that head start. So God forbid anything were to happen, or even as like a long duration power outage, or whatever the case may be. Think Venezuela, think natural disasters and whatnot. Everything that happened in eastern Tennessee, western North Carolina. If you couldn't get your hands on cash, could you get baby formula? Could you get diapers? Could you get supplies? Utilizing something like this. I mean, how quickly we forgot about that. Helene coming up the coast and installing in that area. I saw videos of people utilizing donkeys for moving supplies, like for medicine for diabetics, and trying to hike through the woods to get generators to homes and supplies. Metal is real money, absolutely. Yeah, and this has been around for thousands of years. We've utilized silver and gold for 6,000 plus years. Gold will always be recycled and maintain its value. Silver, unfortunately, is a consumable, but like we said before many times over, countries have now been buying this by the ton. India, Russia, Poland, here in America making a strategic metal now. That's part of the list. So I'm kind of curious if you guys think that the price has been crashing recently, and I just discussed this today while we're running around getting, stuff done. Do you think the price of metal has fallen and continued to since the announcement, not long after the announcement, that silver is on the strategic list, and that our own government's trying to stock up on it while it's cheaper, and then once they feel like they have a certain amount that they like, then they can just let it loose again? I'm curious what you guys think. If that's something that's on your mind, if that's something that, I don't know, if that's a possibility, why? Because it's in the mainstream news. I'm seeing continuous new buyers in the local coin shop. Online, I'm seeing new buyer, first-time buyer, and buying not just silver and gold, but also copper. And I'm just wondering, I have one of these with eggs on the other side. Oh, here it is. Got a carton of eggs there. Got one of these with a gallon of gas on here. But again, think about 90%. Since refiners are not taking this right now, there's such a low premium with 90% dimes, quarters, half dollars. This is actually a great time to utilize that to your advantage and stock up on 90% dimes. I mean, again, not financial advice, but this is what I'm doing. I'm pivoting. Back during, I would say the last 5+ years, when there was a huge premium on eagles, I shifted towards rounds and fractional silver and gold. Now the premium is next to nothing on 90%, so I would say this would be a good time to stock up on 90% while it's low, and then till the next shift and pivot happens. Need to educate people about conversion of metals and other fractions to fiat equivalent mapping. Again, yeah, it's just getting more people on board, and I'm seeing it every day now. It's being controlled at some level. 90% is a bargain today. That's the pivot right now. The pivot is loading up on 90% dimes, quarters, and half dollars. Because again, this dime silver melt as of today is just under $6. That would be a fantastic buy. Fractional silver, depending on where you shop and how good of a relationship you have with your local coin shop or dealer, I would say definitely diversify and get some smaller piece of silver. So these can act like dollar bills and $5 bills in the future. Smaller pieces of gold, absolutely. Stuff like 1,000th, 1/200th, 1/100th. This could be for bigger, smaller purchases, quarter grams. Depending on the premium and where you're buying, this would actually be a great option to have because you have more wealth, but a smaller piece. So you can feel comfortable having that in your pocket. The 1 gram gold right now is, depending on where you shop, between 170 and 200. So again, it's very tiny. And for perspective, there's 1 gram of gold, and here's 1 gram of silver. So you got $3 right now melt value for the gram of silver, and then you have between $170 and $200 for that 1 gram of gold. Diversification is going to help you out a bunch in purchases. So I would say practice. Go to farmers markets, start there where they're very independent. Mechanics, ask your mechanic, hey, out of curiosity, would you accept gold and silver for payment as well as card and cash? Be very creative. So depending on the scenario in the future, you might be able to, with independent shops like Think Natural Food Store, we have a great relationship. You can pay to get some vitamins and supplements with gold and silver. There are some people who are going to light up and say, yes, absolutely, I love it, I get it, because this is actually growing nationwide. I'm hearing stories of contractors accepting gold and silver as payment. They'll do a blend. They'll take cash and some gold and silver. So something that's like this, you can take a pocket pinger and check your rounds, your eagles. Hey, how are you?
Hi.
Again, be creative as you possibly can be. Yeah, again, any ideas, put it down below. Have you done this? Have you bought anything, goods and services with gold and silver?
Yeah.
We did it last year for a week. We're buying food, meals, supplies with metal. What? Metal what? We were just talking about the metal prices.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, is that it?
Here,
just tell them.
Barter and it's the exercise where you in barter and trade with metals.
Yeah.
And you have to. It's an exercise to help you figure out the proper price for what would you trade for X amount.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Not many people know how to do this right now.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get it into our minds. Practice now in case. Why wait for bad things to happen? We've said this for years now.
Yeah.
When people buy supplies, they put it back and they forget about it. Take it out and rotate it. Take out the salt, buy another case, put it back in, and rotate.
Yeah.
Yes, honey lasts forever, maple syrup lasts forever, but a lot of people end up buying bigger containers, not realizing once you open it, you have to refrigerate it.
Yeah,
So buy the little things now, get it into your rotation. Same thing, canned food, freeze-dried food, and so on. Practice with it, use it, get an idea for how it cooks, how long it takes, how much water you need to reconstitute your food, for example.
Yeah, just basic practice.
Yeah, absolutely. Start there and then graduate in a few years to your own harvest rate freeze dryer, so you're making your own meals and putting those away. Graduate from little pieces of silver like this to smaller pieces of gold to bigger pieces. You can go from 1/100th, 1,000 to a gram to maybe 1/10 of an ounce and so on. Be very creative. So you just start somewhere, but be consistent with it. We've been, I want to say, harping on that for, I want to say, the last few weeks now. You have a seat, get comfy. Be consistent, whatever it is that you're doing. Be consistent with, like, any goal. A little bit here and there will always add up. But again, this is different. This is actually skills. This is getting to know your neighbors or your merchants, your store owners, your mechanics, anything, your contractors. Just ask them, say, hey, by the way, do you accept, and you can show them. You can show the gold, you can show them the silver and say, hey, I have a tube of Eagles. I got, I need some sink work, for example. Would you take silver in exchange for your services?
Yeah.
And they can use it like a cash transaction. I want to try this with farmers markets because independent, I think, is where it's at. If it's like a chain store, something big like that, they're going to have their own rules, regulations, and training. Independent, people are more open-minded and one-on-one. I think that's where it's going to be beneficial. All right, let's go over here. Let's end the poll. I'm going to ask the question. Let's see here. Will you be engaging in... Will you make purchases of metal this year? So not only have you tried it, but will you try it this year if you haven't in the past? We have, but that was in a state where it was more recognizable and people were excited about it. I want to try states where, think California, Connecticut, Rhode Island, I don't know, Iowa, places where goldbacks are not recognized fully just yet and states haven't gotten behind it. I think that's where it's going to be. I want to try that first. Really plant the bug and the seed in people's minds. Say, hey, have them get used to this. Have them, look into this and do the math and get excited. Have them hold and tell them, do you realize that this is silver? Have them hear it, that sound, and tell them this is 90% silver, and tell them the melt value of it. It's about $6 in silver in here, and get them excited. When people see it and hold it, it makes it more real and has them be a part of it, so they get excited.
Now they know what it is.
Exactly. I mean, tell them, hey, you can go creaking or buy these little nuggies online and just hold them and tell them the value of it. Tell them that this maintains their value versus a dollar that's being printed into oblivion. And then put it into real-world items, services, food, and so on. I mean, you can be real creative. again, start small and stack up from there. Yeah, I'm actually excited. I want to do more of this year. We did it last year for the first time. It was fun, but I want to try outside of states that don't do this regularly or may not be aware of the goldbacks that a lot of the states are going into. Even states that do have goldbacks, there are some businesses that may not be aware of it, and you can have them hold it and say, this is real gold through and through. This isn't gold plating. This is real. And here's the value of it. And get them excited about holding real gold. It's pretty universal when you see and hold 24 karat gold. You know what that is and the value of it.
Yeah.
So you could put that towards services, getting a nice meal, and just plenty of. You can even go out and tip with people with these things and get them excited and get them looking into it and researching it and saying, okay, you know what, let's start here. This could be a lot of fun and help educate people now instead of when the lights are out and you're scrambling, okay, and I'll cash, what do I do? You have options with this. It can be for tools, supplies. Like I said before, if you have, if you need baby formula or diapers, you can make a trade for these things. Start small. I would actually say have a little bit of everything. Dimes, quarters, small grams of silver, smaller fractional gold. So you're not carrying too much in your pocket, but there's still enough for bigger purchases.
Yeah.
So again, smaller piece, more value, you're good to go. And would you do this in an open parking lot? Would you go with someone? Just think about the scenarios. Just hypotheticalize. If I needed something or had to do something, how would I do this? And then actually put it into, go out and try it. I would say start with farmers markets. Or start, if you go to like the same mechanic for years, ask them, say, hey, would you accept silver eagles or rounds to fix my car? Luckily, ours does. So we got so excited. Then we wound up talking about metals for 20 minutes. We were talking about the market and how, it's been fluctuating. And then we started talking about goldbacks, show them the goldback app. And so now they have the app and they're learning about it. And they're aware of it. So it just takes one person to put the bug in there, get them excited. And then just, and then go from there. And that's how we grow and actually work together as a community. I think that's how you can also build that community, to have more like-minded people and say, okay, you know what, I'm willing to do this. Maybe I know someone else who would take this for honey or bread at the farmer's market, or even the guy down the road with the farm, and exchange that for meat. In fact, I just thought, last time we bought that quarter cow, I think we're going to ask him, hey, would you take cash and metal or all metal? Because I told my husband I want to get more meat. I want to actually try to go for half a cow this time. And then we can maybe make a video saying, hey, would you accept metal? And hopefully he says yes. And then we can break down the whole process, what's being used, and then the type of meat that we're getting. See, this is fun and exciting because this has been around forever. Paper currencies have come and gone. There's never been, I'm trying to think, what's the normal cycle for currency? I don't know how much longer ours is going to last, just based on inflation and debt. The fact that we have so much interest that we can't pay back. We can't even pay back the interest.
Oh.
I think last year was the first time in our history we had to refinance the interest twice, and we talked about that.
So, why do they keep printing money? Don't they know that inflation is going to make it so much worse? The more they print out, the bigger the debt's going to be.
That's the thing. They keep kicking the can down the road,
which is not working at all.
And your average person doesn't know, or your average person doesn't use this. We used to have, up until 1964, we had silver in our quarters, dimes, $50, and then they took it away, but it still looked the same. Like if you take your Roosevelt dime out, it looks like a dime, it acts like a dime, it spends like a dime. But from 1965 and on, it just didn't have that silver in there to back up the value. Same thing with our dollars. Our silver eagles says $1 on the back. But it's worth so much more than that. Right now it's 70-something dollars an ounce. So it's just the education and waking up people. Again, I'm so happy to see more people coming into the realm of buying metals, understanding the metals, which is great. But now when it comes to application of spending it based on its silver value, that's something that it's not a normal regular thing for us. We got away from that cycle a long time ago, especially when the Fed came in 1913. We got away from the bimetal system. We went from gold and paper money to just paper money. It was just that cycling of years to phase in one thing out from another. And then you just get used to that cycle. So now we're trying to get back into that sound money cycle with real money. This is real money. Gold is recycled. Silver is a consumable. This is medical applications, military applications, tech, the phone, the laptop, everything, television, everything, and so much more. That gets eaten up. But since September of 24 and on, so many countries have announced we're going into both gold and silver now. And in last year, it was a flurry of countries buying it by the ton, flying it for the first time. You've never flown silver before.
You don't do that.
Exactly. Let me get cut up over here. The average lifespan of a fiat currency is cited at 27 years. Failed currencies, more than 150 fiat currencies have collapsed throughout history. Yeah, absolutely. You can go online and buy novelty paper notes, like the Zimbabwe $1 trillion note.
Yeah.
And so on from all different countries. Weimar. You can go online and look at the wheelbarrows of piles of notes that people were either burning for fuel, for heat, or trying to get a loaf of bread with this mountain of bills.
That's insane.
Yeah, it is. So again, this is no different. They went through massive inflation based on numbers and everything right now. If you follow some really good, steady people, I'm trying to think. Yesterday I was listening to an interview from Dowd and a few others. It's just a matter of time before this happens. Well, what's going to be the replacement? And I personally believe that we could take back the power of the purse by spending this peer-to-peer for maple syrup, salt, seeds, farmers markets, local merchants and mechanics, and then contractors. And that's how it grows out from there. It's just getting people excited about putting this in their hands and saying, here, I'm going to pay you this. And they hold it. There's some nice, they can feel. It's real and tangible. It's not just ones and zeros, which...
piece of paper.
Yeah, you're disconnected. When you hand someone metal like this, and you hear it, you feel it, you start to recognize that sound of silver, you're connected to the process more. I don't know what it is, but it's exciting in a crazy kind of way. When you're making that purchase, you feel more connected, and it just feels right. Paper, there's no connection. Cards, it's very sterile. We need to get back to something real and tangible, plus it holds you accountable. Because you're feeling it, you're holding it, you're here, and it's just, again, it's just being the part of the process, peer-to-peer. It makes it more real. You have the conversations, you're talking about the different types of maple syrup. This one is bourbon barrel aged. That's a good one. Again, you get to know the source, your farmer, the person making your maple syrup, the person working on your car, person that's, harvesting your honey. We've been so disconnected for so long that I think this, in a crazy way, can bring us back together to have those real dialogue conversations, to have the peer-to-peer that we've gone away from. Just having a normal conversation about whatever it is you're purchasing and building those relationships all over. Right now it's just tapping, typing. No one makes phone calls anymore. In fact, I think one of your friends had a message saying, hey, I'm not here to answer my phone, just text me. That's how disconnected we are.
I mean, to be fair, the person issue was busy and it was kind of loud stuff.
What I'm saying, that was the message.
Oh.
This right here could bring people together and just make things better. Have real conversations, have real dialogue what's going on, instead of just keeping everything, sterile. So in a crazy way, this could be a blessing if you think about it.
Yeah.
Having this conversation saying, hey, are you willing to do this? And they'll say, yeah, sure, tell me more about these. I'll say, okay, here's a gold back, here's some silver, and they can hold it and hear it and ask questions about it. It's a great conversation starter.
Yeah.
Because now they're holding it, and then they can take this and maybe get their kids to do some chores and have them earn silver or some gold backs and get them to realize what real money is instead of just having dollar bills and then using it right away. This kind of has that hard pause because they can't just spend it right away. They can hold on to it, let it grow in value over time, especially kids. Set it and forget it and see what the value is down the road and see how they can reinvest it. Gold back, same thing. You can't spend this right away unless someone's willing to accept it, just like this. So again, these are great options. I want to put this into use this year even more. Like away from states, New Hampshire, for example. Plenty of businesses that accept gold backs and silver. I want to try different states that don't have these yet and just plant that bug, get that natural curiosity gear going, and have them do their own research and want to learn more about it and be a part of this. I think that's where we're going to make a big difference. Beware of CBDs. They could turn it on and off and limit what you purchase. Yeah, and now they want to tokenize. They're talking about tokenizing your home, your car, any assets that you have.
That's messed up.
It is, because here's the thing. It's kind of like credit cards. If you start using that like percentage of your home to purchase something, and God forbid anything happens, you don't fully own your home anymore. It's like a sneaky backdoor way to say, "Hey, you have all this equity. Just tap into it. We'll tokenize everything."
That's terrible.
It's especially if you have lack self-control. Yeah, a million %. It's also like, I got excited for a moment when Florida announced that they were going to have this. I'm trying to remember the exact wording. They were going to have a vault where they're going to use gold and silver. But there are some places now where they're saying, we'll have, actually they're suggesting, I'm trying to remember, where did I just read this? Was it another country or another state? Where you can take your gold, give it to the state. I think they're proposing this. And they'll give you a debit card with the amount reflecting the metal that you deposited. And some people are saying, oh, that's a great idea. And I'm looking at them shaking my head saying, are you insane? You're giving them your real tangible assets. They're giving you ones and zeros that they can just turn off and say, no, I'm sorry, there's a glitch. Or, hey, you know what? We don't like the way you're speaking online.
Yeah, that is downright. That's like 1984 when was the
stuff. So if people if the government gets excited about something like that, really pause and think, okay, why
do they think
yeah, I don't like this, especially when they started getting into cryptos and using that to, for hedge funds and whatnot. In a doctor's office today, there were 5 out of 6 people on their phones. Yeah. It's a lot of worry everywhere you go. Yes, Florida passed legislation HB 999 in May of 2025, signed by Governor Ron DeSantis, which recognizes gold and silver coins as legal tender starting July 1st, 2026. Read the fine print, because someone actually printed out the bill. It's not that long of a bill. I think it was like 5 or 6 pages, if I remember correctly. He didn't like the way it was worded. It was something in there that made them hold it. Something similar to the debit card. It's, once you spend it, they hold it. Like you have it, you can hand it over, but then they'll say, okay, we're going to put this in here. But then they don't put it back into rotation. I believe, if someone can correct me or help me out here, if I remember correctly, all right, I'm going to use this to buy a car or an investment. And the state says, okay, great, we're going to put it right here. But we're not going to put it back out into rotation for people to spend it, get it? It's like almost like they want to put it all here, that keeps adding, it keeps building, and they keep getting more, and they keep getting more, but it doesn't go back out into the system.
Yeah.
So is the system depleted? It's one of those, wait and see how it works out, I guess. So yeah, anytime the government gets excited or it sounds good, read the bill thoroughly, and then just wait and see what happens, unfortunately. But don't let things get tokenized. That's where things get
real sneaky.
It's just, again, you're thinking about the elderly who don't know better or may not be familiar with tokenization or crypto. Subtle way of confiscation. Absolutely. Yeah, it's no different than FDR. My God. Bullying people into saying, okay, you're a bad person if you don't help out the government, give us your gold. And having some exemptions with the pre-33. I believe the treasurer at the time put that in there because he had a lot of pre-33 gold. He's like, well, I have a lot of it. I don't want to get in trouble. So they put that in there. And then the next year, they go from $26, they increase it to $35, only after you've removed it from your hands into theirs. So again, it's practicing this now, getting people excited about receiving payment in metal, in real money. And again, little by little, we can make this happen, but you have to be consistent like anything else that you want to see work and happen. So I'm going to try it more this year. We'll make some videos, see if people get excited about the prospect of receiving real money for some vegetables or bread. And our farmers markets have a little bit of everything. They now have meat and sausages. I'm really excited. We could bring our cooler bags. We'll see if they'll get excited about that, and hopefully we can get more of this happening. And again, like I said before, this is how we take control of our purse strings, by going peer to peer with real money and getting away from this fiat system, which is worth less and less every day. The purchasing power of a dollar, if you go in the Fred, is less than 3 cents. It's gotta be at this point. I mean, we've been saying that for a while. So I'm curious if you guys are gonna practice buying with metals this year. If you're excited about it, if you think it's gonna work. If you do, let us know in the comment section. If you do it and it's successful, what did you buy? What were their reaction? Were they hesitant or were they excited? Like, what's their level of knowledge when it comes to gold and silver? Bring out the pocket pinger, bring out a magnet, make sure it's real. There's great ways to test for it. Again, handle these things so you know what it sounds like, you know what it feels like. And that's how we become better educated and confident in saying, hey, I do this with others. They're working great. Are you interested in receiving gold and silver for payment? Especially the 90%, because this is recognizable. The sound. Handle this. Recognize the feel. Checking the edges. What's 90%, what's 40. Check the dates. Mercury dimes. I love these. They're pretty. I love the messaging behind it. And again, the sound. This is fantastic. Yeah, big fan of these. Ooh, that's a nice one.
Handling it to be a good way of knowing what it feels like, what the real stuff is.
Exactly. Just get back to the basics. Get your kids and family and friends involved in this. Again, we talk about going to coin shows together and coin shops. Get familiar with this again. It's real money. We got away from it, but instinctively we want something that's real and tangible that works. How is this any different? So let's give that a shot, see what happens. I'll be curious if you guys do this. So if you guys are going to try this out, let us know. If you want to talk more about this, if you have any other barter ideas, let us know. Put in the comments section, and maybe we'll do this again next week. We can talk more ideas and see where this is going to go. All right, let me just end the poll. I'm game. Oh yeah, this is going to be fun. I'm excited. I want to give it a try. I want to do more of it this year. It worked out well last year. I want to keep going, but other states and other vendors and see what happens. So let us know if you guys like it, if we should keep this going. If the price of silver goes back around $40 an ounce, I will buy more. Oh, absolutely. Oh, 1,000,000%, yes. Yeah, that's the thing. If it goes up, great. But if it goes down, that means you could buy a little bit more. You buy a few more dimes, or maybe another ounce or two of silver. Oh, 1,000,000%. Because here's the thing. When, like we talked about earlier, when countries are flying in silver, which you would never, you would just ship it over. Buy the dips, dollar cost average. Yes, absolutely. Oh, yeah. If you can buy it now, absolutely. If you can do a budget each week, stick to that. But the trick is being consistent. Consistent with, if you want to buy an eagle each week till you fill up a tube. So you get your tube, you're buying. There's your tube. Cap it, close it, buy another empty tube, and buy another one. Just keep going, and then maybe make a goal of it. Fill up a monster box. Fill up a mini monster box. Start with a tube, and then once you fill that, start with 90%. You can work on a guardhouse if you want with dimes, or just 2 by 2 with quarters, $half. Especially 90% with the premium being so low. This is actually a great time, not financial advice, but this is what I'm doing since the premium on Eagles is crazy. I went away from that, and now I'm focusing on 90%. It's a great time. Refiners are not taking it. Coin shops and online auctions are inundated with this stuff. Help them get a good deal. They're removing it from their inventory. They're getting cash reserves, and you're getting a great deal with silver. So again, it's all about the pivot. Silver dollars may change. Eagles may go down in premium. You're back in the silver eagle camp for a little bit. Now it's back up again. Now we're in here. Eat the elephant one bite at a time. Absolutely. I was buying 10-ounce bars at Costco. Yes, when it was in the 30s. Yes, and that's the beautiful thing. Be consistent with those buys. If you see a good deal, it's real metal, you're going to do fantastic. Fractional gold. Start small, and then you can build up. if you want to play the ratio game, when it's really wide, go in on silver, and then you can trade for, I think the last trade I did was 2.5 tubes, and then you could get an ounce of gold, for example, depending on the ratio. You can do that as well, and then people have actually gotten extra metal from those. Back when the ratio was 104, I swapped gold for silver, and when it started shrinking in the upper 40s, I swapped back into gold again, and you still have extra silver on the side. So it's a long-term game. This is not day trading. This is both just protecting your wealth instead of putting everything in the bank, which, again, the last time we had the financial issue, they had a bank bail out. If you read the terms and conditions of your bank account, there's a bank bail in. So there'll be a banking holiday. They keep everything that's in your accounts, the ones and zeros, and God forbid anything in your safety deposit boxes. That's the bank's property now, because they have to protect themselves first and their shareholders. GSR is 67 right now. Again, yeah, if this is a better buying opportunity, that's what I'm doing. And then you just be consistent every week. Make it a game, make it a goal. God, I've crushed goals in the past now I'm focusing back on 90%. You finish one thing, work on another. You can make a game of it. It can be a lot of fun. Get your friends and family involved. Go to coin shows. Those are some of the better deals at coin shows because there's a lot of competition. You can have fun with that. And the wide variety of things you're going to see and find. That could be sometimes a great way to finish an album or a collection because there's a concentration of variety. And again, you're going to get a better deal. In this market right now, 90% is very little to no premium. I'm steering towards that right now. So again, it's just pivoting. Be creative, have fun, be consistent, and that's where, again, you can have a lot of fun with the stuff, especially in the future. Take your 90% and your grams, maybe even your smaller gold and your gold backs, and go to merchants and markets and get them excited about being paid in real money and explain to them what it is, how a lot of people are getting back into it. States are passing laws. I think we're at 28 states now and growing, passing sound money laws, being able to make purchases in debt and public and private with gold and silver. So again, it's real sound money. It's peer to peer. That's where we take back the control of the purse strings. We lost it, but on a real level, this is how we can take it back without legislation interfering with us. Support your local coin guy or gal. Yeah, 1,000,000%. Again, you have that build the great conversations, relationship with them. So when they see you, like, hey, coming in, I got a bunch of dimes, and you can sort through them and pick out the ones that you want. Or if they know you're big into Eagles, like, hey, I got a bunch of Eagles, come on in. That happened a few weeks ago before things got crazy. I was able to buy slabbed Eagles for the same as raw ones. So fill up your albums, fill up, whatever it is that you're going for. Get your friends and family involved, and again, just be consistent, week by week, little by little.
Yeah.
And God forbid anything were to happen, at least you have a running head start with something like this, tangible assets. Like Mark Twain said, they're not making any more land. Land's valuable. Metal, there'll always be a place for metal. Gold, they're recycling it. Silver is consumable, but when countries start buying large amounts of silver, and we're in a deficit, we're in our 6th or 7th year of a deficit, we're consuming and using more silver than we're pulling it out of the ground. And that stuff takes time to get a mine up and running, and then test it, pull it out, and then refine it. That takes years. Key states with legal tender laws. Utah was the leader in 2011, followed by states like Wyoming, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Arizona, Arkansas, West Virginia, Tennessee, and Missouri. 1,000,000%, yes. And now Florida, that was a big one. When you start getting a lot of attention like that, it's really hard to ignore that. Just like recently, how many more people are now getting into gold and silver? The normies are in the retail arena now, so you can't hide it. We all know what's going on. We know the dollar's going down, inflation, debt, layoffs, countries, making this, noise about buying all this stuff and flying it. When regular people start talking about this and buying it at Costco and online and online auctions, I'm seeing new buyers every single day. It's great to see, but you got at the same time be educated, just protect yourself. Recent additions include Idaho and Florida. The legislation aims to provide a sound money alternative to the US dollar, allowing residents to bypass, in some cases, transaction taxes and capital gains taxes when using metals. 1,000,000%. Yes, again, protect yourself, know what's going on. If there's a state that has no sales tax, yeah, use it. And New Hampshire, for example, there's no sales tax in there. So depending how far or near you are to them, if it's not that far, grab some of these, break out your gold backs, and support local businesses, and then build those relationships. When they see you come in, yeah, it's just easier to transact at that point. Same thing locally. Just plant the bug, get people curious with this idea and notion, going back to the basics. And yeah, you're going to be doing great. Again, it's just practice now. Getting back to the basics. We got away from it, we're going back into it. Now it's up to the private sector to accept, reintroduce, and encourage the use of gold and silver as forms of payment. Exactly. This is something I had an idea of a couple days ago. That's why I didn't go live on Sunday. I didn't really have anything pertinent to share or talk about, but I got the bug in my head and I had to scramble and get out and bring things here to show you guys. Because I think it's a good idea. Don't just do it where it's accepted, like Oklahoma, Utah, New Hampshire, and Nevada, and now Florida, but bring other states into this. Again, I believe independent is the best way to go. Small shops, farmers markets, for example, have great conversations, get them excited. Actually, put the metal in their hand and say, hey, do you hear that? See how it feels? And you can explain this is real money, this is the silver value in here. Get them excited, put it in their hands and say, hey, can I give you real silver for these eggs, or this bag full of tomatoes I want to make some sauce with? Get them excited, have them hear it, feel it. It's like, all right, I'll give it a shot. Small transactions, then come back again and say, hey, how's it going? And they'll say, hey, that was fun. What else can I help you with? And then just build that reputation and being trustworthy with metal, and then hopefully they'll have other vendors seeing us saying, hey, what's that? Get them curious. Given enough time, these actions may eventually pave the way for other states to adopt gold and silver as legal tender, re-injecting some money into the American economy. Again, getting back to the basics, what works. Same thing with people buying local. I've seen an explosion in farmers markets and people making their own bread and growing their own food. Everything online. Yeah, in person is fantastic. We want something that's real, safe and effective, and tangible. And it just works. At some point, with this system, it's not working. How many people are going online and taking matters into their own hands, saying, you know what, just give me something that works, that's safe and effective, and it's growing. This is a big factor in that as well. So again, I'm happy and excited to see more people getting into this. Just here's some options. Again, right now I'm in the 90% camp, predominantly, just because of premiums being little to none. And then as that changes, we'll get back into rounds, eagles, other options. But while things are low right now with gold and silver, people look at it like day trading. It's like, no. Look at it as an opportunity. If it's in the red, that means more buying opportunity. Get excited. If it's up, fantastic. Feel good. But if it's low, because remember, this is a long-term game, buy more.
Yes.
And if it keeps dropping, I'm not getting sad. I'm just visiting the coin shop more. It's like, hi, we're back again. And they get it because we talk about that. You have that relationship, and then they can help fill you in on what's going on.
Yeah.
With their refiner and how things are going. So again, be creative with this. Try it locally. Try it with your mechanic. Just say, hey, show them, say, hey, I got a question. Would you accept this? And I got other people who accepting gold and silver as payment. Would you be interested in doing the same thing? Treat it as like a cash transaction and tell them it's real money, it's exciting. Just have them hold it in their hand. It feels really good.
Yeah.
And it gets them excited. So again, just lots of options, going back to the basics. And I think little by little, with each of us doing this, that's how we can take back that peer-to-peer transactions and actually using real value and this being real money. So hopefully you guys got something out of this. If you did, great. Leave a comment down below. Share it with other people. Get creative. Plant the seed in other people's minds. What would you do? How would you do this? Would you be willing to do it? And then see if they're excited and just try it. Small transactions, then grow from there. See what happens. But we'll do this again regularly next Sunday, and then we'll go from there. So if you have any ideas, drop it down below. 7 p.m. next Sunday.
Yeah.
We'll hang out and do this again. So you guys be safe and well. Ready? Want to say bye?
Bye.